viewers, you're watching the weekly roundup in our GW News Recap. I'm your anchor, Azin Jamir. Let's have a look at the stories that made it to the headlines. The Mawa village under Matsibima subdivision witnessed violent confrontation on February 13 between Chakroma Public Organization and residents of Mawa village. The final electoral roll with reference to January 1, 2026 as a qualifying date was published on February 14 for the 28th Koridang Assembly constituency under Mokokchung district where a by-election is due. Meghalaya Police has constituted an SIT to probe the dynamite explosion in an illegal coal mine that claimed 32 lives in East Chandia Hills district on February 5. Bangladesh opposition Bangladesh Nationalist Party won a landslide parliamentary election on February 13, returning to power after nearly 2 decades. And now the news in details. The Mawa village under Matsibima subdivision witnessed violent confrontation on February 13 between Chakroma Public Organization and residents of Mawa village. The cause of the confrontation was a simmering land dispute boiling over, resulting in arson, vandalism and injuries to several individuals. Among the injured were 2 government officials, a police constable and the ASC of Matsibima Chumukidima district. There were counterclaims from both sides, with the former accusing Mawa villagers of stone pelting a CBO team using women and children as human shield. The Mawa village leaders in turn alleged the CBO of instigating violence without provocation. At least 1 car said to belong to the Mawa village council chairman and 2 wheelers parked on the road were also burnt in the arson. The land dispute in question includes 2 small plots that fall right beside NH 129A, which both sides claim as theirs. Some half-burnt structure on these 2 plots were also torn down during the violence. Erection of the temporary structures by the Mawa villagers on the disputed plots reportedly served as a spark for the violence that played out on February 13 morning. According to a press release from the Commissioner of Police, Dimapur, the situation escalated at approximately 10:30 am when a gathering of around 2,000 persons engaged in physical scuffles and stone belting. During the incident, ASC Matsibima and 2 security personnel sustained injuries. 1 NAPIR personnel was hospitalized with a serious head injury. The mob vandalized 9 houses and 3 shops and set fire to 8 shops, a community hall, a youth office and a council guest house. More than 30 LPG cylinders exploded during the fires and 21 vehicles were damaged, 3 of which were torched. No casualties were reported. The release said that security reinforcements and fire tenders brought the situation under control by 11:30 am. The CB condemned the violence and said that necessary security measures were in place in the affected area. Normal traffic movement on the Jarnabari-Jalukir road resumed by afternoon. While it appealed to the public to maintain peace and exercise restraint, citizens were advised against the unlawful assembly and the dissemination of unverified information via social media. Community leaders and organizations were requested to cooperate with the district administration to ensure harmony. The final electoral roll with reference to January 1, 2026 as a qualifying date was published on February 14 for the 28th Koridang Assembly constituency under Mokokchung district where a by-election is due. According to a notification issued by the Chief Electoral Officer Nagaland, the roll was published by the concerned electoral registration officer. As per the final published roll, the total number of electors in 28 Koridang Assembly constituency stands at 22,390, comprising 22,266 general electors and 124 service electors. Of the 22,266 general electors, 11,253 are male and 11,013 are female. Among the service electors, 123 are male and 1 is female. There are no registered third gender electors in the constituency. The CEO informed that the final electoral rolls can be viewed or downloaded from the official website of the Chief Electoral Officer Nagaland and the Election Commission of India's water portal. The 28th Koridang Assembly seat has been vacant following the demise of the sitting MLA Imkong L. Imchin on November 11, 2025 after brief illness. Consequently, the Nagaland Legislative Assembly declared the vacant seat with effect from November 12, 2025, necessitating a by-election for the constituency. However, the date for the by-election is yet to be announced. The government of Nagaland has appealed the ANATG 2015 batch not to resume their suspended hunger strike or resort to further protests, stating that the process of regularization of services has already been initiated and is being pursued in accordance with established government procedures. In an official response referred to representation by 2015 Batch Core Committee on February 13, the department expressed appreciation and willingness of the NATG 2015 batch to assist in documentation work related to service regularization. The department acknowledged the proposal to depute 10 members from batch to assist in sorting documents pertaining to group. It also requested the core committee to furnish the names and necessary details of the selected teachers to facilitate the process. The department also stated that while efforts are being made to facilitate and expedite completion of formalities for regularization of service of ad hoc and contract employees, the process must strictly adhere to prescribed government procedures and formalities. The department clarified that it is not in a position to provide specific dates for completion of service regularization. Meghalaya Police has constituted an SIT to probe the dynamite explosion in an illegal coal mine that claimed 32 lives in East Chandiya Hills district on February 5. The mishap occurred in the Monsinka Tangsko area, prompting immediate action from the state police in view of the recent coal mine accident that occurred at Tangsko East Chandiya Hills district, Krelihat, and in order to ensure a fair, impartial and expeditious investigations into the circumstances leading to the incident, an SIT has been constituted with immediate effect, State DGP in an order issued on February 13. The 9-member SIT will be led by Deputy Inspector General of Police Eastern Range, Vivekanand S. Rathore. The team will ascertain the cause of the explosion and conduct a comprehensive investigation. It will also identify violations of court orders and directions of the National Green Tribunal on illegal mining. The order said the SIT will complete the investigation in a time-bound manner. It will aim to bring the case to its logical conclusion and ensure justice in accordance with the law. Authorities called off search and rescue operations at the blast site on February 9. Assessment teams concluded that there was no further possibility of locating survivors trapped inside the mine. Tensions continue to creep the commercial town of Litan in Manipur's Ukhrul district following clashes between Naga and Kuki communities. Residents say the situation, though uneasy, is calm for the moment following heavy security deployment. Evacuation is in progress in Litan and the adjacent village of Mangkot. Internet services was suspended in Ukhrul for the last 5 days. Clashes between Tangkul Naga and Kuki communities had led to the burning of 25 houses and 4 government quarters, police said. The damaged structures also included 2 houses belonging to members of Kuki community, according to a preliminary police assessment. The violence had erupted late on last Sunday evening between 11:30 p.m. and midnight at Litan Bazaar. The police said automatic gunshots and rifle fire were heard, triggering panic among residents. The district magistrate of Ukhrul imposed curfew in Litan village on Sunday evening, citing apprehension of breach of peace and public tranquility between the 2 communities, with risks to human lives and property. Police said the violence was triggered by a drunken brawl on the evening of February 7 at Litan Sarikong, during which a Tangkul Naga man identified as Sterling was allegedly assaulted and later shifted to a hospital in Imphal for treatment. Litan, located around 35 km from Imphal, is a small commercial town inhabited by Tangkul Naga and Kuki communities and serves as a trading hub for surrounding villages. Its mixed population and closely linked market and residential areas aided to the sensitivity of the situation. Bangladesh's opposition, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, won a landslide parliamentary election on February 13, returning to power after nearly 2 decades and positioning party leader Tariq Rahman to become prime minister as the country emerges from the months of unrest and economic disruption. Rahman, the son of former Premier Khalida Zia and assassinated former President Ziaur Rahman, faces immediate challenges in restoring political stability, reviving investor confidence and rebuilding key industries including the garment sector after prolonged turmoil that followed the collapse of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's government in 2024. An interim government led by Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus has been in charge since then. The official count in a vote viewed as the South Asian nation's first truly competitive election in years gave the BNP and its allies at least 212 out of the 299 seats up for grabs, the Election Commission said. The opposition Jamaat-e-Islami and its allies won 77 seats in the Jatiya Sangsad, or the House of the Nation. More than 2,000 candidates, many independents among them, were on the ballot, which featured a record number of at least 50 parties voting in one constituency. One constituency was postponed after a candidate died. Well, viewers, that's it for this week's news recap. And for more news like this, you stay connected to Global Window. Good night.